Hello, and welcome back to the Misty Morrison podcast. I'm your host, Misty Morrison, and this is episode 56 of Was I in the Wrong? Here on the Misty Morrison podcast, we love to judge, we love to give advice, we love all the petty drama, and all Was I in the Wrong specifically, we love to help people look back at their situations with that 2020 vision and see how they could have handled the situation more gracefully. Before we get into our stories, of course, our usual housekeeping, whether you are new or returning, thank you for being here. Please remember to engage with the content to help the channel grow. Every bit of engagement can help spread the word about the podcast. Like, subscribe for more, share it with a friend. Leave a comment with your thoughts on stories down below. I do read them. I love seeing them. I read your comments across Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. If you are listening on podcast, please leave a 5-star review if you liked it. All the things. All right, into our stories for today. Story number 1 is coming to us from r/WIBTA_AITA. AITA for working fully remote. I have a semi-visible, multi-system physical/neurological disability. Not my favorite part of my life, but at least I am still alive. It's one of those things that doesn't get better. You can manage your symptoms, but it can and does get worse. And it gets worse faster if you don't take care of your health. Part of managing that for me involves stuff like a mobility aid, adaptive equipment at work, desk job, certain medical care. It's hard for people to understand because 1, I'm younger, and 2, my energy levels and physical abilities aren't the same day to day. I do get that. Example, my mobility aid can be upsetting for people to look at. Dude, I also wish I could still walk on my own. But I can't. So I'm going to make sure that I use this tool so that I can do it safely. Not to say F your feelings, but grow up. My medical accessibility and safety needs are more important than your aesthetic preferences. Go you. I'm not explaining my medical history to you. You're not allowed to pray over me. I'm not trying your sister's MLM essential oils. I'm not going to just take a few steps for you. No matter how much you sulk, grow up. Okay then. This very reasonable boundary caused a great deal of friction and division when I worked in a physical office. I'm a transplant, and my only relative in this town is a loudmouth distant relative who I later learned was spreading stories grossly misrepresenting my disability, diagnosis, and prognosis. Unfortunately, it reached a point where I had to get an attorney involved. Ooh. Based in part on my relative's bullshit, a coworker, swear word to call that person, who just wanted to help me heal, did something really selfish and stupid that landed me in the hospital for over a week and permanently damaged my health. I did not press charges, which I think is pretty damn generous of me, but I also took that incident as a bit of a wake-up call. This was also when my doctor stepped in like, you cannot go back to this workplace, it's not safe, and P.S. we would strongly prefer you not work full-time in the first place. I was offered a full-time job with an amazing, fully distributed company about 2 months later, and my doctors were okay with trying that as long as I don't work more than 45 hours a week, and as long as it's 100% remote. Those are non-negotiables, and twice a month I have to hear about, you need to consider switching to part-time. So I've been at this new company for over 4 years now, and it's great. My physical and mental health are way better. I get to be a person, not that cripple. And when I'm not being hauled into HR every GD day to listen to Karen cry about how I just need Jesus, I have had time to get a promotion and pick up some great skills that are kind of in demand in the local market. The thing is, the local market is mostly contract work, crappy pay, zero benefits, 100% on-site, in many cases such a tight schedule it would interfere with my getting medical care, and I've been explicitly told no ADA accommodations, mobility aids, adaptive equipment allowed. A significantly worse deal in every sense of the word. So temp recruiters have called and I've politely declined. They whine and cry about flexibility and preference. Mobility aid, remote work, etc. are a medical need. Bye. Trevor, I'm not quite sure why your client requires someone who can walk unassisted, but that's not me. So please call someone who fits that bill. I don't feel it's morally wrong in any way to work for a company based in another state, but nobody should expect me to feel loyal to companies who, by your own admission, see me as less than or a problem due to my being physically disabled, or say that they're willing to interview me once I've recovered. If having a physical disability coworker is that upsetting to people, isn't it in everyone's best interest if I work fully remote? When you put it like that. I had to be kind of firm with this one recruiter, Psycho Hose Beast, whose behavior got out of control. Long story short, she decided she was going to be the hero who finally forced the evil cripple to do the right thing, and decided to become able-bodied by take and decided to become able-bodied and take a local shitty contract job. One day she called me several times between 7 a.m. and 11 p.m., all from different numbers. Sketchy. They've kind of circled like work from home is a choice and you're being entitled. It harms the local economy. You're able to go to book clubs / go to doctor's appointments, get XYZ certification, do stuff with the kids, but you say you're not able to go to an office? Isn't it time to grow up and forgive that one asshole? Shit like that. It's not even about forgiving anyone. It's that one asshole's actions and my coworker's behavior surrounding that situation forced me to face something I'd been ignoring for years. Someone with my physical disability in a business climate like our local one should not work in an office. Too many social, medical, and logistical barriers. Honestly, I'm so effing tired of being made to feel like my medical needs are a burden or a problem for other people. And it's pretty damn demoralizing to think that keeping myself alive is pissing other people off. But there's so much anger that I have to ask, is there any way I am in the wrong here? No. This is a wild situation. The way there's so many people like trying to beat your door down to get you to go to an office primarily just because the company that you work for is out of state. So what? That doesn't matter at all. We live in a day and age today where it is possible for many people to successfully and effectively work from home. If you are able to do so and you need to do so, they should be happy that you are able to make a living for yourself safely. These, can you move? Probably not, because it sounds like you have a lot of doctors that you need to see, and that would be really inconvenient. Block every single one of these numbers. You are not wrong. You are taking advantage of the things that are in place to help you and to assist you. The attitude of so many people in this story is wild to me, that they somehow think they can take the disability out of you. That's insane. You're right. Don't let these people get to you. Take care of you and let them talk. Let them. It's fine. Wow. Okay. Story number 2 is coming to us from r/AITA-H. Husband scared me to death, and I screamed and swore in the moment. AITA-H. Me, 37 female, and my husband, 38 male, have a 20-month-old, and I was in the living room with my son watching a movie / playing with him by myself. This is on the main floor of the house, and we have lots of windows. It's also about 7 p.m., and at this time it is already pitch black outside. I did not know exactly where my husband was, and I just figured he was getting more work done or doing some laundry downstairs. My son and I started moving from the living room to the kitchen, and right at eye level is one of the windows, and I just about jumped out of my skin, and I screamed when I saw a face through the window. I couldn't tell it was him. It all happened so fast, and due to being so spooked, I also swore loudly, "God damn it!" and slapped the window pane where I saw the face. Okay, if I saw a face in the window, I would not be slapping it. I would be going the other way. Next thing I see is my husband coming to the back patio door and giving me the most angry expression in response to my response to his jump scare. Clearly very upset by my reaction. What did you expect? It was a few more minutes before he came back inside the house. I think he was shoveling snow when he stopped to watch. And as soon as he came in, he demanded an apology from me. I told him, no, I don't owe him an apology. He scared the shit out of me and has the nerve to get upset at me for being scared. He is insistent that my reaction is uncalled for, and I need to take responsibility for my reaction to him, watching his wife and kid enjoying playing together. I fully believe that it was not his intention to scare me and that he expected I might be able to tell it was him from inside the house. Just my take on it. I am so sad, mad, still kind of spooked, and disappointed that I'm the one being expected to apologize. AITAH for not apologizing. Edit corrected a mistyped word. There's an update. Before I go to the update, I'll give my take. You're not wrong. You don't owe him an apology for a couple of reasons. First, he scared you. Whether or not his intention was to scare you, once he realized that he had terrified you, he should have been the one apologizing immediately. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. You guys were being really cute. I wanted to watch. I didn't think I'd scare you. That could have been the end of it. But the other reason you're not wrong, I just completely lost my train of thought. Oh, the other reason why you don't owe him an apology is because your reaction really didn't affect him. You screamed, you swore, you slapped the glass, you didn't slap him. He was not harmed in any way by your reaction. Maybe it was out of character for you, maybe he didn't like it, but you didn't do anything to him. It was a reaction, not a response. It was a fear reaction. You don't owe him an apology. You're right. For the update, we have apologized to one another and made peace. I'm still very tired and emotional, if you know, you know, and I am glad I went to go talk to him despite that. I had at least cooled down before approaching him. It was all just a perfect storm of tired/irritated mixed with unfortunate timing. Feeling better now that I addressed the confrontation and uncomfortable situation before the new year. After a good night's sleep, I think we will be able to laugh about it tomorrow. Thank you, internet strangers. This is good. This is good. You guys came to a mutual understanding. I think you both apologizing is the best situation that could have come. He apologized because he scared you, regardless of intent, and you apologized because he didn't like your reaction. Okay. And you moved on. You're like, this is basically, I'm sorry for what I did to scare you. I'm sorry for my reaction to what you did to scare me. This is stupid. Let's move on. Great. I like it. Story number 3 is coming to us from r/found and expose. AITA for evicting my best friend after she squatted 8 months rent-free, sold my appliances, caused $34,000 in damages, then sued me for $15,000 claiming discrimination. What? Immediately, no. Immediately, not the asshole. But we'll read it because it sounds like fun. I just got served legal papers because I evicted my former best friend from my rental property after she squatted here for 8 months without paying a cent. And apparently, that makes me a monster. She showed up at my door in March crying about her boyfriend kicking her out. Said she just needed 2 weeks max to find something. I owned a small rental house that happened to be between tenants, and I thought, you know what? She's been my friend since college. I can help. I told her she could stay there temporarily, but she'd need to sign a short-term lease and pay reduced rent, $800 instead of the usual $1,400. She signed the paperwork, moved in the next day. That was the last normal conversation we had. April came and went. No rent. I texted her and she said, things are tight. I'll get it to you next week. May, same thing. By June, I started calling and she stopped answering. When I drove by the property, her car was there, but she wouldn't come to the door. I left notes. Nothing. July, I got a formal letter from a tenants' rights organization saying I was harassing her and she was exploring legal options for my discrimination. Discrimination against what? I have no idea. We're both white women in our 30s. I own 3 rental properties and I've never had a single complaint. I contacted a lawyer and started the official eviction process. That's when things got really bad. August, I did the legally required inspection with 24 hours notice. What I found made me physically sick. Holes punched in multiple walls. Carpet completely destroyed and stained with God knows what. The stove was gone. The refrigerator was gone. The washer and dryer, gone. When I asked her where my appliances were, she looked me dead in the eye and said, I sold them because you wouldn't let me have friends over, and I needed the money for therapy to deal with your abuse. What? I never said anything about friends. That was never a rule. The kitchen cabinets were ripped off the hinges. There was dog shit everywhere, even though pets weren't allowed. The bathroom had black mold growing because she'd apparently left the shower running and flooded it multiple times. My contractor estimated $34,000 in damages. I don't blame you for being sick, not one bit. I got the official eviction order in September and had the sheriff remove her in October. She screamed at the deputies that I was making her homeless during a mental health crisis. She called me a slumlord. She told them I refused to fix things, which was insane because she never reported a single issue, and I literally couldn't get her to communicate with me for months. 2 days after she was out, I found her GoFundMe. The title was Disabled Woman Made Homeless by Predatory Landlord. She's not disabled. She works full-time in marketing. The description said, I discriminated against her during a medical crisis and refused basic repairs while collecting illegal rent. It said I violated her rights as a tenant and had raised over $6,000 from people who believed her. Wow. Then she started posting on Facebook. Long posts about housing discrimination and abusive landlords. She tagged mutual friends. She tagged my sister. She never once mentioned that she hadn't paid rent in 8 months or destroyed $34,000 worth of property. People believed her. I started getting messages calling me a heartless bitch. Someone left a note on my car calling me a slumlord. 3 mutual friends blocked me without even asking my side. Not your friends. I posted the eviction paperwork, the inspection photos, and the signed lease agreement showing she owed me rent. I explained everything. Her response was to double down and claim I fabricated evidence and that these so-called damages were normal wear and tear. Wild. Normal wear and tear doesn't include selling someone's appliances. Yesterday, her lawyer sent me a letter demanding I pay her $15,000 for illegal eviction and emotional distress, and that I post a public apology on social media admitting I discriminated against her. Wow. So she can afford a lawyer, but she can't afford to pay you rent? If I don't comply, she's threatening to sue me for damages and reputational harm. My lawyer says her case is frivolous and will win easily, but I'll still have to pay legal fees to fight it. The GoFundMe is still up. People are still donating. She's still posting about me like I'm some kind of villain who threw a vulnerable woman on the streets for fun. I keep getting messages telling me I should have just let her stay until she figured things out. That could be forever. That eviction is cruel. That I'm prioritizing money over a human being. You prioritize a human being for 8 months to your own detriment. But she destroyed my property. She stole from me. She lied to everyone and made me out to be abusive when all I did was try to help her, and then followed the legal process when she refused to pay or communicate. Now I'm wondering if I should have just absorbed the loss and let it go instead of evicting her. AITA-H? No. 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 Good grief. This is horrible. It's wild that I don't believe she was ever your friend based on the way she took advantage of you and immediately cut you off. Unless she is actually truly going through a severe mental health crisis, this could not possibly have ever been a true friend to do this to you, to immediately stop communicating. Like, if she was really your friend, you guys still would have had continued normal communication, regardless of the fact that she was renting your place. She knew what she was doing when she moved in there because she expected that she'd be able to take advantage of you. The damage, first of all, is awful. She doesn't have any respect for you as a friend or landlord. The fact that she sold the appliances, you weren't even paying rent. You work full time. What the hell? Seriously. This is wild. You did everything right here. The only thing that I maybe wouldn't have done was post on Facebook. Because, I mean, people were believing her sob story. They're donating to her GoFundMe, which is wild. You can report the GoFundMe, I believe, to try to get it taken down and the money returned to the people who donated. I would definitely do that while you're in the legal proceedings. No, you prioritized the human over the money for long enough. You are well within your rights to evict her. You need to sue her for the damage that she's done to your reputation. Um, you need to sue her for the damages. I mean, I'm sure you won't actually get any money out of her, but I think it will be worth it for the public facing aspect to sue her for the money for the damages and the money for all the rent she owed you. I think that's the only way that you really repair your reputation in this is by trying to get the GoFundMe removed as invalid and suing her. Suing her, don't take it. As long as you can afford it, I think that's your best option to like prove through the legal system that everything she said about you is a lie. And if those friends those 3 friends who blocked you try to unblock you after it's all said and done, you block them. They were not your friends. They didn't even ask your side. They just believed her. It's a wild story to me, and they just took it. They're not your friends. Don't let them come back. Okay, that is all for that one. That one was wild. All right, that is 3 stories for this week's episode of Was I in the Wrong? Thank you so much for being here for another episode of the Misty Morrison podcast. I will see you guys next time for another episode. And remember, kindness changes everything. Bye, guys.